everybody, and welcome to week 3 of the new year. I'm going to do this on purpose. I'm going to mention what week it is in 2023, because I think sometimes we kind of get lost in the weeks, or at least I do anyway. And also it's good because I think life's precious, and I think sometimes it's a really good reminder. It's like, all right, look at, this is already, we're in week 3 of the new year, and it's like, where are you at? What's happening? What are the goals, or if we don't use the word goals, what's the aspirations, or what it is that you would like to achieve or want to actually make happen in 2023. Anyway, this week I thought, okay, what would I like to share? What's relevant? That's what I tend to do each week. I tend to make this video about what's happening or what I've learned in clinic. The intention always is to have it as something that is to give value or to actually share some knowledge. And so I want to share a little bit about what I've learned this week, and that is I have a huge interest for a long time with our egos. And I don't know about you, but back in the day I was always sold the idea that an ego is a guy, funny enough, but this image in my head of ego is a guy in a kind of pinstripe suit with a Porsche, and he's kind of arrogant and brash. I'm not saying there aren't women who can wear pinstripe suits and drive Porsches. Please don't, take that way. But I always had this kind of image in my head of that's what an ego is. Somebody who's like, yeah. And then I've been doing, listening and reading and doing some research, and I realized something that I've kind of known, but it's really become obvious as I've started researching is that, the truth is that all of us have an ego. Like every one of us, I have an ego. Everyone watching this, because it's just part of the human psyche, yeah? It's part of how we see the world. And it's an interesting thing because in lots of philosophies throughout the world, they have this concept that we have duality, yeah? That we live in duality. And as I begin to read about the ego, this really, really is beginning to make sense to me and really coming home to me, in that we have a choice, really. We see the world through the eyes of ego, which is how we normally see the world, or we can learn to recognize the fact that we're actually not ego, that there's a whole other part of us that's non-ego. Some people call that soul, some people call it whatever it is. It doesn't really matter what you label it as. But there are two ways of looking at the world. We can look through the world through the eyes of ego, which is thinking that we have to own things, as in we have to have possession of things, as in that's mine, that's my car space. The ego is all about, it likes external validation. It's all about, it's all about survival, really. The ego does not want us to die because the ego associates us with our body. Whereas the other side of us, the soul side of us, knows that we're actually infinite, that we have been around and we will be around, and that this existence is just temporary. And it's interesting as I begin to do some research, and I'm looking, wow, there is such a different way. Excuse the noise in the background. Must be my neighbor's dog has decided to take off. Maybe it's the dog's ego. I'm joking. Maybe he's actually going off at itself, but it doesn't really matter. So I just thought I wanted to share that with you this week. That just a level of awareness to realize that all of us. It doesn't really matter whether you've been sitting on a yoga mat for the last 10 years. Unless you've done particularly work on this, you will still have an ego. Anytime that we think our way is better than others, or anytime that we judge others, and how many people watching this video can genuinely say that they went one whole week without judging others, one whole day without judging others? I don't think, if the truth be known, it's actually going to be that many people. And yet when we do that, we are coming from a place of ego. So that's what I wanted to share this week. It's just a thought. Also understanding from what I'm learning, and what I really, really get, is that when we are in this looking at the world through the eyes of ego, that really is one of the true core causes of our suffering. Anyway, it's a new topic. You will definitely be hearing more about it from me throughout the year. And for now, there's a link below. If this is the 3rd week of the new year, and if you still have got stress or anxiety and you're wanting to reprogram your subconscious, which at the end of the day is the place where all this change occurs, then click on the link and I would love to hear from you. Either ways, have an amazing week. Remember, anxiety is not something that you have to live with, and go out there and absolutely make the most of every moment of every day. Until we speak next week, see you then. Thank you so much for being on my list, and thank you for taking time out to listen to my message. See you next week.